Good morning. I'm Keith Glass, City of Monroe Police Department, and I got Lieutenant Tracy Hanson with me today. And what we want to do is point out a problem that's not only citywide, but it's probably a nationwide, statewide, and countywide problem, and that's just litter. And while this is not the most devastating crime that we deal with in the City of Monroe, as you can see from the video, it's a lot of trash, and we're standing right here at the East Spring Street exit coming off 78 Highway, and this litter was picked up about 10 or 12 days ago. And what I'm want to express to you is this is your community. If you see somebody littering, go ahead and call the 911, give them a tag number, and officers inside the city will respond to that. If you can't call 911 for some reason, if you can take down a tag number, Lieutenant Tracy Hanson is going to kind of be heading up something for me on this litter for a while, and I'd ask that you just email her the tag number. Her email is thanson@monroega.gov. That's thanson@monroega.gov. And again, it's your community, and as you can see, and he'll scan around and show you some more trash, but this trash was picked up with community service by community service workers about 12 days ago, and you can see how much is built up. So we really need your assistance, and we're looking at some ways also of places where we have a lot of this, maybe getting some video out there so we can catch them also on video. But we just need your help with that, and if you have any other problems with the crime or whatever in the City of Monroe that we can help you with, please contact us at the City of Monroe Police Department.
I just look forward to hearing from citizens here in the community, and we can work together and hopefully make Monroe not only a safer place, but more appealing to the eye. And just like Chief said, just email me with any problems. If you see anyone littering, or if you can get a tag number, and we can follow up with those people, just email me, thanson@monroega.gov.
And we thank you for your help.
Where do you come alive? A stadium, lecture hall, a music hall, church potluck? This year, you have a new spot, walkgeorgia.org, a free website that provides you with all the resources needed to get your heart rate up and body out in your community. Sign up and receive individual or group fitness tracking, fitness demos by certified trainers, recipes, and a guide to resources in your Georgia County, all in one easy-to-use site. When you move more, you live more. walkgeorgia.org.
It's your home, it's your dream. Radon test and keep it healthy and clean. Make it green, green, green.
Making it green is making sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. It's easy. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN. Preserve your family's health and well-being. Get your home tested. Now that's living healthy and green.
Green, green, green. It's your home, it's your dream. Radon test and keep it healthy and clean. Make it green, green, green.
To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN.
Creative artists can transfer your 8mm, Super 8mm, and 16mm films, as well as converting your VHS, CVHS, 8mm, and mini DV to DVD. Preserve your family's video history for the generations to come. Creative Artists, 1113 West Spring Street, Monroe, 770-267-7368.
Is actually Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Now, has anybody in here known anyone or had colorectal cancer in their family or with their friends or anything like that?
You have.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I have as well. So, so it's a very, very serious thing, and it's something that's not talked about very much. You know, I think when we think about cancer, what is the cancer that you always think about that gets the publicity? Breast cancer, exactly. I think that reason is just because women, we know how to get the word out usually. So when it's something that predominantly affects women, I think it's easier to get the messaging out. But colorectal cancer is something that is not talked about very frequently. And it's something that deserves a lot more attention, because a lot of times before somebody even goes to the doctor, they experience signs and symptoms and issues before they ever actually do anything about it. So with colorectal cancer, prevention is really the key. So that's why Colorectal Cancer Month is celebrated or recognized, or however you want to say it, in the month of March, which that's where we are right now, is in the month of March. We have several physicians on staff here that perform colonoscopies, general surgeons as well as gastroenterologists, and we actually have an endoscopy center in Loganville where you can have that colonoscopy done outpatient, and you don't have to come here to the hospital or anything like that. And we'll make sure that you guys have those brochures before you leave today about that, if you would like further information. So we are excited to have with us today, and I'm going to let her kind of tell her a little bit about herself, but this is Miss Quinaria Streeter, and she's actually interning with us right now as a health promotions major from the University of Georgia. Hey, come on in. I got your lunch ready for you back there. So she's a health promotions major at the University of Georgia. And, you know, as part of health promotions, prevention is the key, right, Quinarius? And colorectal cancer is something, since it is kind of celebrated this month and recognized this month, that we wanted to bring a little presentation to you guys about. So I'll let you tell them a little bit about who you are and where you're from and all that good stuff, and then you can go ahead and get started, okay?
Okay. Well, like she said, I'm Quinaria Streeter. I'm an intern from the University of Georgia, and I'm a fourth year this year, and I'll be graduating in May, so almost there. All right, so today we're going to be talking about colorectal cancer, and what colorectal cancer is rectal cancer and colon cancer, but they show very similar signs and symptoms, and they're also pretty much classified in the same way, so they kind of slurred them together and made it colorectal cancer. But there is a difference. It is colon cancer and there is rectal cancer. Okay, so before we start talking about the two types of cancers, let's just first talk about the normal digestive system, and then it'll make more sense how it can malfunction and cause cancer later. So for the normal digestive system, you'll chew your food, swallow it. Once you swallow it, it goes down the esophagus, and it first goes to the stomach where it's partially digested by acids, and then it'll go to the small intestine. Your small intestine is this inner portion of the intestine right here, and that's where most of the nutrients from the food that you eat is going to be absorbed. And after that, it'll go to the larger intestine, which is the outside of the small intestine, and that also absorbs some nutrients and water. And from there, it'll go down to the rectum, and you will use the restroom. Okay, and then, like I said, the large intestine and the small intestine both absorb nutrients from food, and the large intestine also holds your stool. And that's the waste from the food that you eat after it has absorbed all the nutrients and all of that. Okay, so when we talk about colorectal cancer, colon or rectal cancer, it basically is cancer of the large intestine, not the small intestine. So what happens is over time, just by natural causes, sometimes it has a little bit to do with diet, obesity, things like that, you will begin to develop polyps. And what polyps are is just a punging out of the large intestine from the inside of the large intestine, and it'll grow towards the center of your large intestine. And you can kind of see in this picture right over here what it might look like, and it could happen anywhere along the colon, and it could also happen in the bottom part of the rectum. But most polyps are non-cancerous. Just sometimes when they keep dividing abnormally, sometimes they can become cancerous. Okay, so here's another picture of how a polyp can form. You can also have a flat polyp or a raised polyp. A raised polyp will kind of look more like a light bulb, and a flat polyp will look more like a pimple. in a sense. And it is considered that the flat polyps might be a little bit more dangerous than the raised polyps that look like light bulbs. But when the polyp is cancerous, it's called edematous. And most of those, 95% of edematous polyps are cancerous. But if your polyp is not edematous, it's most likely not cancerous. Okay, so early detection of these polyps is really the only way to prevent them, because like I said, it's not much that you can do like individually to avoid them from growing. Half the time they grow just because your cells have divided so many times and they lost the ability to regulate their cell growth. So now they're growing abnormally and it causes this precancerous polyp to grow. And like I said, 95% of the edematous polyps are cancerous. And if you see the picture down below, you can see like a normal polyp will start to develop, and it's benign. Benign meaning non-cancerous, it's non-harmful to you, and it's probably not much to worry about. But once it keeps growing and growing and you see masses of cells clumping together, it's something you need to start paying attention to, and it could possibly become cancerous. And like I said, this can happen anywhere along the colon or in the lower portion in the rectum. Okay, and this is just another picture of the difference between the raised polyps and the flat polyps. And like I said, this can happen just because cells divide so much that they lose the ability to regulate their cell division, and this little tumor growth can start to develop, or just because there are mutations in your DNA somehow through, they can be environmental exposures, it can just be mistakes in replication of DNA when cells are divided, and these polyps can also form. And like I said before, the flat polyps are considered to be more dangerous, more something to worry about than the raised polyps. Okay, and the biggest risk factor for these polyps developing is just being over the age of 50. And like I said, that's just because over time your cells have been replicating for so many years that they do lose their function to regulate how they grow and how they divide. So being over 50 is the biggest risk factor. Also, having a family history of individuals who've had polyps or who have had colon or rectal cancer is also a big risk factor, just because if they're closer genetically related to you, it's just a more likely risk factor that you might have it as well. And if you've had previous polyps or cancer or previous colon or rectal cancer in the past, it's more likely to come back. And other risk factors, if you have irritable bowel syndrome, any problems in your gut area, anything like that, they're more likely to come back. They're also starting to show that it is decreasing among the older population, and it's also starting to be a problem among the younger population too. So there's more research going into why that is. And then if you've had ovarian or uterine cancer, that's also been seen to increase your risk for polyps or for rectal or colon cancer. And some things you can do as prevention wise are just some of the basic things that you always hear. Eat right, try to eat as many whole grains, fruits and vegetables as you can, and items with a lot of fiber. Fiber is known to help your microbes in your gut digest the food and push your stool out more smoothly. And physical activity, maintaining a healthy BMI, body weight, eliminating smoking, any type of tobacco use, decreasing your alcohol use, because alcohol does go through the same system, and it is absorbed in the body by the small intestine and everything, just like the nutrients in your food. So that also plays an impact. And knowing your family history. If you have people in your family who've had polyps or have had colon cancer, go get screened just to be sure, and that way you can catch it early, because that is really the biggest way to prevent these polyps from becoming cancerous, is if you catch them when they're benign. Okay, and some statistics, like I said, over 90% of all new cases of colorectal cancer do occur in people over the age of 50, so being over 50 is the biggest risk factor. And colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of death of all cancers in the U.S., so it is a really big problem. We just don't give it that much attention. And people of certain ethnic descents are also more likely to have colorectal cancer, and those are Jews of Eastern Europe descent. They're more likely to have higher rates of cancer. African Americans are also more likely to develop colon cancer and less likely to survive from colon cancer. So, and Native Americans and Alaskan Natives as well. So if you're any of that descent, or if you have any of that running through your bloodline, it's always good to go get screened and make sure you stay on top of it and don't just let it go unnoticed. And some signs that you might notice that something's going wrong is if there's blood in your stool. Sometimes that is a sign of colon or rectal cancer, but at the same time that could just be anything else. Like, the symptoms are very rare. That's why the screening tests are the best way to prevent them, because it's just hard to catch it yourself. Okay, some of the American Cancer Society recommendations is that once you hit 50, both men and women should go get either one of these screening tests. So the sigmoid test, it goes in the colon a little bit, but it will not get the entire colon. So the doctor could go in and see maybe some polyps, but he would not be able to see throughout your ascending, transverse, and descending colon. And then you could also send in fecal samples. From what I understand, you just smear a sample of your fecal, you can fold it up in an envelope, mail it to the doctor, and they can test it there at the lab. And samples that are in the fecal can tell them whether or not you might be at risk for colon or rectal cancer. And then you can also get what is in this picture is a colonoscopy, and that's considered the gold standard test. That's the best test you could get to detect colorectal cancer. And that's when they just kind of put a microscope and a light up your rectum, and it goes through the entire colon, and the doctor could see any type of polyps that are there, whether they're benign or cancerous, in the rectum and the colon. And there's also a digital test that the doctor can do with their fingers, but that will he will only be able to reach the rectum part. He won't be able to go up into the colon. Okay, and like I said, the stool test you can send in, and they can just test your stool DNA to see if you might have any abnormalities. They can also test the blood of your stool. If you have blood in your stool, they can test that to see if there are any polyps. And like I said, if any of these tests come back positive, you should go get a colonoscopy, because like I said, that is the gold standard, and that will let them be able to see anything that's going wrong, whether it's in the rectum and the colon. Okay? And that is all I have for you guys.
What causes the polyps that are not malignant that form?
Just normal cell growth. Like, there's really nothing you can do besides like diet, exercise, and try to keep yourself as healthy as possible. And like I said, eat a lot of fiber, because fiber is shown to help you digest more easily and move your stool quickly.
You've had a picture on that. The polyps are not necessarily inside the colon. They can be outside, right? No,
they start inside and they grow towards the center of the colon. And what can sometimes happen is stool can get into those polyps and cause nasty infections.
Okay, so the one that had the bump to the outside was actually growing towards the center.
Mm-hmm. It's just some of them are more bulb shaped and some of them are more flat. Or some of them also, they start on the inside, but they might dig down a little bit. It's just all how they feel like growing at the time.
Why do any of those things occur after age 50?
Just because over the time, like, your cells replicate millions of times per second. So after the age of 50, they've just been replicating for so long that they cannot regulate their cell growth anymore. And that's for any type of cancer. That's really all cancer is. The cells have lost their ability to regulate their growth. So now they're growing more rapidly and they're causing tumors. And that's really all a polyp is. And that could be for a tumor in the breast, anywhere. And mutations in your DNA, if you're exposed to a lot of radiation, stuff like that. Chemicals that they put in the food that might be environmentally hazardous. Work sites that have hazardous chemicals. Radiation from sunlight, anything like that can mutate your DNA and cause the cells to more quickly lose their ability to regulate their cell growth. Any more questions?
Any good news on the horizon toward improved medications, or you showed some reductions in
well, like I said,
right?
It is showing that in the older population, the new cases of colorectal cancer are decreasing, but now we're seeing a little bit of an increase in the younger population, which they're still doing research to figure out why that is. But like I said, once you get that like they want you to start at 50, either doing the fecal test or the oculate blood test or doing the colonoscopy, and that way you can catch it early. And the biggest way to prevent colorectal cancer is to catch the polyps early. And if they're benign, you can have the choice of removing them or not. But if it was me, I would remove them just in case, because the longer you let it be benign, the more likely it can overregulate, get bigger, and cause more
You
problems.
have to sign in advance for a colonoscopy to give the doctor permission to remove polyps.
Mm-hmm, you do.
So you don't have to go back a second time?
Yeah, that's true.
Most people would opt for that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's still your personal choice. If they're benign, you can choose to leave them.
So I noticed that it said have one every 10 years. I was surprised. I figured it would be more like 5 or 3 or something.
Well, that's just because like these things do take time. They just don't appear overnight. So if you do it every 10 years, you're definitely likely to catch it at an early stage. Like you might not catch it when it first appears, but if you do it every 10 years, you'll definitely catch it before it becomes cancerous. But like I said, if you don't want to do the colonoscopy every 10 years, which is like the full exam, you can do little fecal tests every now and then, and that can also detect it as well. If you don't want to do like the invasive one, because I don't hear a lot of people enjoying it.
It's not much fun. I just had one, that's why.
You know Dr. Ferris Johnson over in Athens?
I haven't.
You're in school in Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a prominent African-American doctor there that my wife sees. Because our daughter is a pharmaceutical doctor in Athens. This guy's really, really good. He's an MD, but he specializes in endocrinology.
Okay.
And we've gone to his seminars. He was at Prince Avenue before their recent breakup, and now he's at St. Mary's.
No,
Right?
he was at Athens Regional.
Okay, and now he's where?
St. Mary's.
He's very, very well known there.
Okay, I'm gonna get in contact with him.
Tell me, when does this colonoscopy, when did all this start?
Well, it's always been recommended. It's just it hasn't been put in the public eye as much because I feel like it's a touchy subject and not a lot of people want to talk about it because of, I feel, the location where it is and how you detect it. And it's really uncomfortable. A lot of people don't brag about having a colonoscopy, but it's been around for a long time.
Like in the 50s?
Well,
I don't remember ever hearing anything like that.
Well, I don't know if the colonoscopy has been around since the 50s, but the smaller tests like the stool samples or the stool blood samples have been around for a long time. But this gold standard, I want to say, has been around for a good 2-3 decades, I want to say.
Yeah. Well, I've had one, my wife confirmed that she's had removed it, but she didn't have cancer. So.
Yeah, like I said, most of them are benign. Most of the polyps are benign.
How does Obamacare interact with the colonoscopy? I guess we may see that in the pamphlet. Is that automatically covered under Medicare for every so often?
Okay, with that, I'm pretty sure that's still like depending on what type of insurance you have. But for most insurances, I do believe that all screening type prevention things are covered fully in the exam. Anything prevention wise is most likely going to be fully covered.
I know there are certain things covered now, like annual physicals that are covered.
Yep.
Because that's an expensive process, isn't it? Colonoscopy, like $2,000 or $3,000.
I have no idea the price, but I'm pretty sure it's up there. Just like everything else in health.
Paying rent, you better find out.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you say it's more prevalent now with the younger age group.
Well, it's not more prevalent, but we are starting to see more cases of it in the younger population.
Because of that?
I would honestly say it might have to do with contributing factors like obesity, lack of physical activity, things like that. And in the younger population, they are starting to eat cigs and they do smoke pretty often and maybe not eating enough fiber in their diet. There are just many factors that can contribute to it. So if I had to guess, those are the ones I would guess.
You see the day when you're going to have to get a license to have children.
No, I don't.
Somebody got to check out some of these people. We've got too many bad eggs.
Yeah, that's
Know
true.
what I mean?
That's true. Well, I know now health insurance isn't covering a lot of the cost of childbirth like they used to. So that might be weeding some people out from having the babies if you can't afford $3,000-$4,000 to have a child, because I know a lot of insurance companies are not covering the whole procedure anymore. So that might weed a lot of people out.
On these medical problems, it seems like that your work has gotten, well, obviously we all know it's much better, but every time you get over the hill, you realize there's another hill.
And I feel like just being a health promotion specialist, that's mainly what we deal with, is trying to change people's lifestyle behaviors. Because like I said, many cancers, heart disease, many chronic conditions can definitely be avoided. But like I said, in a fast-paced lifestyle, it's not always easy to go work out after you get off work. It's not always economically convenient to cook the healthiest meal. So, I mean, a lot of things like that, just eating, diet, physical activity, the basic things that we could do to prevent a lot of these illnesses are actually the hardest things to do, and there are a lot of the reasons we have a lot of the chronic diseases we have today. So like if we could make small lifestyle changes, it would make a huge impact on our value of life later and the conditions that we see, and actually our medical costs could actually go down a lot if so many people, if we didn't have to do heart transplants every year and things like that. It would make healthcare a lot cheaper for everyone.
Hello, we're so excited today to be here. It's March 17th and we're here for the grand reopening for the new location of Athens Orthopedic Clinic located in the Clearview Physician Center 1. And at this time, let's see, we've got Christy Ellis. She's going to tell you a little bit about where they're located and their presence in Walton County.
We currently have this office at the Clearview Physician Center. We're open here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Monday through Thursday, 7 to 2 on Fridays. We are building a new location in Loganville that will be open in December of this year. And those are our 2 locations in Walton County.
Very good. And can you give us the phone number for this location?
Sure. It is 706-549-1663. That's for all of our locations.
Very good. Do you know how long you've been in Walton County, had a presence in Walton County?
Yes.
You do, Dr.
We've been in Walton County, and particularly in Monroe, for 8 years now.
Very good.
And we've had this is our 3rd location in Monroe, and our last location, for a lot of people who may not know, was on a hill, and was on a fairly steep hill, which is not good for orthopedic patients. So we're glad to be on flat ground again. But we're very excited. We have a great relationship with the hospital here, and we are excited about the ongoing developments in the medical community here, and have been thrilled to be here, but also be a part of that development. So we really appreciate James and all that they do at the hospital here, and all the services that are provided, and we look forward to continued growth with our practice in serving Walton County.
Great. Dr. Smith, will you just, because this is going to be shown throughout Walton County, will you just tell a little bit more about all the services that y'all are able to provide, and if there are any specialty services or anything?
Absolutely. So our practice, we have 15 physicians, surgeons in our practice that cover specialties from joint replacement to hand surgery to spine surgery to sports medicine, foot and ankle, and am I missing? I think I've hit them all. We have several surgeons who are out in Walton County. There are 5 of us now that cover the various offices, and our focus is on specialty care for our patients, making sure that they are taken care of in a timely manner, but also to the appropriate specialist to take care of their particular problem. And so that's the way our practice model is set up. We also have physician assistants that help us see those patients in a more timely manner. It helps us get patients in and get the process started with regard to their therapy and conservative treatments, and also studies that may need to be done with MRI or whatever else may need to be done. Our physician assistants help us do that. And then for those patients that require surgery or additional more advanced care, then obviously that's where we come in and can provide all of those services.
Very good. Well, I can attest that y'all do an excellent job.
Thank you very much.
I've been a patient before. I was in the boot. My son was in a cast in his hand, and so and I think Dr. Harkins suggested that my husband wrap himself in bubble wrap, so he didn't have to come in too. So, but y'all are great office, great clinic, and do great work. So we appreciate y'all y'all's support of the community for sure. James, CEO of the hospital, would you like to add anything?
Sure. This facility that you're in right now has actually been in the works for some time, since even before the hospital itself was completed. I actually have a chart in my office which is dated 2011 with a timeline of when this was supposed to be done. I'm not going to tell you how far behind schedule we are with this, but we're thrilled to have it done. Just to understand, this facility isn't owned by Clearview. It's actually owned by the physicians in a partnership with the developer. So what we did was we leased the land to them, and it's a great partnership. We didn't have to put up the capital because as a hospital, we try to put our capital into things that directly take care of patients like MRIs and ORs and new instrumentation. So this was a great win-win for the community and the partnership between its physicians, the developer, and the hospital itself. And the end result is fantastic for all of us. I think everyone would agree, and I think it's going to greatly improve access for our community. And now you have a one-stop shop instead of having to travel all over the place for multiple appointments. So we're thrilled to have AOC and the rest of the physicians in the building on campus, and we look forward to growing together.
Very good. Thank you very much. Well, congratulations to y'all.
Yes,
it
thank
was
you.
great. Look forward to touring in just a minute. But now we'll take a quick break and get ready to get set up for the ribbon cutting. 3.
For those that have not met John and Nikki, John is one of our physician assistants, and Nikki is our newest physician assistant that's been working with us for the past few months. So just wanted to put a face with their name too.
Very good.
Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of The Health Story. My name is Dee Dee Harris. I'm the Executive Director of Walton Wellness, a nonprofit located here in Walton County dedicated to the prevention of lifestyle-related chronic illness. Each week I like to come to you and bring you some kind of new resource or tell you about an activity going on or maybe share with you some information that I think might be helpful on your health journey or someone you love. And today I want to talk about, of course, we're into the new year and we've talked about New Year's resolutions and we've talked about what we want to start doing, making goals for this year. And so today I want to talk about a program which you may have heard about on another segment, but it is called Walk Georgia. It is a program that is sponsored by the University of Georgia Extension Service, and it's a really neat program to do. It is computer-based, and what you do is you go online at walkgeorgia.org and you sign up. And then as you do your activities, whether it's biking, walking, running, gardening, house cleaning, just about any activity that you could do in your life, they have a way of converting that into miles. And so the whole idea behind this program is to actually walk across the state of Georgia virtually on your computer. So whatever activity you do, once you sign up, you go in daily, hopefully, or however often you do your activity, and you log in what you did, how long you did it, and you typically will say whether you did it moderately, strenuously, or something like that. And then it will convert, after you answer those questions, it will convert whatever activity you did into miles. And then it will put it into your database and it will show you walking across the state of Georgia. So the neat thing about this is a great thing for families to do together. It is really neat because as you walk across the state of Georgia, it actually tells you a little bit of history, a little bit of trivia about the different places that you're visiting. So if you go through Gwinnett County, it's going to talk to you about some of the history of Gwinnett County and some of the trivia and stuff, and it does that all the way across the state, which is very interesting, and it's a great learning tool for your children as well. So it's a great thing to do as a family, but you can also do it as a larger group. If you wanted to start a group at your church, with your civic club or work, any of those organizations is a great way to get up a group to do it, sign on, and it is a little bit of a competition because you are able to go online and see what groups are in the lead. So it's a little bit of fun, and you can actually compete against one another, which adds a little bit of element to it. And the good thing about Walk Georgia, though, is in the past, this program has been about an 8-week program. So you would have a certain length of time to sign up, then it would run about 8 weeks, and then it would be over. And then it might start up again another time. Well, the good thing is, and I'm so glad that they've actually changed that so that Walk Georgia now is just year-round. You can sign up at any time, you can start at any time. and you can finish at any time. So it doesn't have to just be within an 8-week period, which I think is great, so that anyone at any time can sign up. And that is starting this month, February. They have launched this new Walk Georgia website, and there's a lot of great resources and tools on it. So I encourage you, check out Walk Georgia. You can do it as an individual, you can do it as a family or as a group, and look at all the great tools and sign up. Like I said, you don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to walk or run. It's any kind of activity that you do. So like I said, they even have house cleaning on there. So vacuuming counts. So it's just a neat thing to do. As always, I encourage you to check out our website, waltonwellness.org. There's lots of great resources there too as well. Our contact information is there, so you can email me with your questions, or if you want more information about Walk Georgia. As I said before, Walk Georgia is sponsored by the University of Georgia Extension Service. So if you want more information specifically about that program, I encourage you to call them. Also, if you want to get me the old-fashioned way, you can always get me by phone at 770-313-8107. Thanks for watching.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful in the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank you all for tuning in today, and we are coming into spring, which is our busiest time of year. We've got a lot of activities coming up. Earth Day's coming up. We've got the Kids Fest coming up, Farmers Market. So we really look forward to this time of year. And also, I did want to mention that we have our Document Destruction Day tentatively scheduled for June 6th. That will be a Saturday. Again, it'll be in the Carmichael Drug parking lot. It's going to be from 10 to 12. And you guys can call us for any details. And we'll be getting out flyers and banners, and those will contain more of the details. We're still working some of that out, but I did want to go ahead and get word out. And more information will be made available on that. And speaking of spring, that's generally the time of year we start getting more spring cleaning and things being brought in. So I did want to remind you guys that yard waste and hazardous chemicals and paint we do not accept. And to those of you who may have not used our facility before, we encourage you to come down and check it out, especially for some of the larger items that you can't get into your garbage cans at home. When you're doing some garage clean outs and things like that, some of your larger stuff, just keep us in mind and know that you do have a place to bring that stuff. We're open Monday through Saturday, so we are here for you. Again, our number is 770-267-1421. Give us a call with any questions. We'd be happy to answer them. And also check us out on Facebook to keep yourself posted on what's going on. Again, hopefully it's going to start warming up. It's our busiest time of year. We're looking forward to getting out into the schools and seeing you guys out in the community and getting our spring activities started. Thank you, and see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Emily Russell coming to you from Clearview Regional Medical Center. Thank you so much for tuning in to join us. As always, we have something exciting going on at Clearview, and we're just proud to be serving the community. In recent events, we've had our medical office building open, and we've had several of our offices relocate. Our physical therapy office, our pain and spine center, our ear, nose, and throat doctor, Dr. Miller, along with our surgical specialists, who are Dr. Norman and Dr. Banak, can all be found in our new medical office building here at Clearview. And if you need any of their contact information, feel free to visit our website at clearviewregionalmedicalcenter.com to get all of their updated information. Along with them, we have some other very exciting tenants that are going to be joining us. Athens Orthopedic Clinic has taken up residence in our new medical office building, along with University Cancer and Blood Center, Dr. Spleichel and Dr. Wong. Along with them, Gwinnett Heart Specialists also join us, and Clearview Wound Healing Center will be joining us as well. So we're just excited to have new developments going on our campus and to be able to better serve our community and just the people in the community and our patients. So if you haven't come out to check out our new medical office building, please do that, and stay tuned for an upcoming ribbon cutting and open house as well. So, back to regular business as usual. I'm excited to have with me a guest today, Mr. Matt Culberson. And Matt is a senior at the University of Georgia. And Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about the program that you're studying?
Well, basically I'm studying health promotion, which is the study of the field of just public health in general and how we can better ourselves and better our quality of life in how we live each day, and the practices of getting out, being active, and changing our diet, and how we can actually become healthier.
Excellent, very good, which is always an important topic with everybody, whether it's weight loss or general health or diabetes management, whatever it might be. Health is so important. So we're excited to have Matt working with us here at the hospital this semester. We always love having students and getting to help shape the lives of young healthcare professionals. So today, Matt, we're going to talk a little bit about the month of March, which is what?
Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month.
Now, I wouldn't say that this is a topic that a lot of people want to talk about regularly. It's not necessarily a dinner table conversation per se, but it's an important one, would you not say?
I would definitely say it's important. It's something you need to be wary of, and you know, when you get a little bit later on in life, if you're over your 50s, in your 50s or older, then you need to be wary about this and worry about the polyps that may develop on, you know, in your colon.
Exactly. Do you know any statistics about percentages of people that experience colorectal cancer or anything along those lines?
Yeah, it's about when you hit 50, when you hit the age of 50, you need to start getting screened and getting tested, getting your colonoscopy every 10 years. You need to go out and get that done, because we've got men are 3 times more likely than women to actually have colorectal cancer. So men, definitely get out there and get your colonoscopies done.
Yeah, that's, you know, in colonoscopies, it's again not necessarily a pleasant thing that you want to do, but it is one of those necessary evils, and you're exactly right, Matt. By the age of 50, you need to be starting to think about that first screening colonoscopy, and every 10 years is a really great guide to go off of. Men especially, and especially African American men as well, perhaps sometimes it's more prevalent in that population. So that's something important to consider and something important to keep in mind. So what is the best screening tool for colorectal cancer?
Well, the best screening tool would be to use a colonoscopy. That would be the best one to use. Get it done every 10 years at the latest. You know, if you can get it done a little bit sooner than that, I mean, that's better, obviously, but every 10 years is the recommendation. Get that done, and that way, you know, you're good to go.
Very good. Yeah, prevention is really the key with that, and early detection is the key. And the best screening tool for colorectal cancer is a colonoscopy. We have a lot of physicians here at Clearview that do screening colonoscopies as well as diagnostic colonoscopies. If you've been having certain symptoms that you think might be transparent to the fact that you might be having some issues, some polyps, some lesions, things like that, that's the perfect time to get a screening colonoscopy, or a diagnostic colonoscopy rather. We do those here at the hospital, and we also do them in our outpatient endoscopy center in Loganville. Dr. Ellison is the one that practices there. And a little known fact about Dr. Ellison is that his adenoma detection rates are in the 90th percentile for all GI docs and those that perform colonoscopies. So he's very, very good at finding adenomas and polyps. And adenomas are generally your cancerous polyps, correct?
Correct.
Now, not every polyp is going to be cancerous.
Not every polyp is cancerous, so don't just be afraid when you get in there and get a colonoscopy done and they say that you do in fact have polyps. You know, they'll actually run some tests on those, and then they'll come back later and let you know how cancerous they actually are, and then the steps from there will be taken accordingly.
Perfect. Yeah, that is great advice. Now, are there any other precautionary things that people can do? Diet, exercise? Is obesity a factor? Anything like that?
Obesity is definitely a factor. We want to, just as it is with all type of chronic conditions or any type of cancerous conditions, we want to get out there, limit our carcinogen intake, so alcohol, smoking, you know, limit that to, well, 0 preferably. But things like changing your diet and having more fruits and vegetables, we want to do that. Those have antioxidants in it, which will help you in preventing cancerous agents. And also, you want to have less red meat in your diet. So things like that, you know, get out and exercise as well. You know, keep your body healthy.
Yeah, that's great advice. Anything you can do to take that extra step for health prevention is the way to go. And that's the really cool part about your position here and the field that you're studying, being health promotions. It's all about making healthy choices in the beginning so that it doesn't lead to long-term consequences.
That's correct.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to hear a little bit about Colorectal Cancer Month as well as what's going on here at the hospital. So if you have any questions or if you would like to talk more about this, or perhaps you would like a recommendation on a physician, getting a referral for a physician to actually perform that colonoscopy, you can always call our physician referral line, and that number is 1-877-933-2762, and we'll kind of match a physician up with your insurance preferences and get you taken care of, especially if you're that age 50 or older and you've never had a colonoscopy. Definitely that is something to consider. Talk to your primary care physician about that. Or give us a call and we'll be happy to steer you in the right direction. So as always, if there's anything we can do to help you to better serve you or your family, please let us know. Feel free to reach out to us by email or by phone, and you can always visit our website at clearviewregionalmedicalcenter.com. Thanks so much and be healthy.
We're at Walton County, the Felka Park, and it's a fabulous place over here. You can see right here they've got the gym upstairs here. Downstairs they're having a senior fitness group going on. It's very exciting. I mean, you can hear in the background the music going on, and we're going to show you some of the people that are over here exercising right now and having a great time. And I just wanted you to see where we're at today, and then we will I want to tell you more about Walton, Georgia. Welcome. I'm Molly Kindler with the Walton County Cooperative Extension here in Walton County, and I am the Walton, Georgia County Administrator, among all my other jobs that I do with Extension. Walton, Georgia has made a huge change since last year. Last year it was just the old program, and it was interesting and we loved it, but it was needed to be updated. So with the grant from the Coca-Cola Foundation, the University of Georgia and Coca-Cola Foundation have gone in together and revamped the whole Walk Georgia program. It is absolutely fabulous. Tammy, isn't it wonderful? The new website and everything.
It's so much easier to use. It's streamlined. It's a big improvement.
The one thing that's going to be wonderful about it is we can do groups now. And with the groups, we can do, right now we have the county government, the County Board of Commissioners have 10 groups that they've set up, and I just checked, and they have 28 members on their teams right now. And with that, they're going to be competing against each other. Now, when we say we're competing, in the past we did miles. It's still going to calculate miles, but what it's going to do now, we're going to be doing points, and the points are figured on it's a formula, it's equivalent in oxygen, and it's supposed to be a much better formula. And so where you can do yoga and you can do running, and that's two different types of activities, and vacuuming, those are all different. So what they're doing is taking an oxygen level, and that's how they're calculating how many points you're earning. And so that's the way the county will be doing. We'll be doing points this year. We will eventually go back over to a map and we can do miles again, but they're updating the map. That's going to come out in fall of 2015, and so that will be a new edition for in the fall. And that's fun because they travel all over Georgia. You learn some great places, and Tammy, you learned some great places when you were doing that one, didn't you?
I did, Molly. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and it was an awesome way to get to know more about my new home state. I got to travel through different counties just by walking virtually. It was really interesting.
And you found some great vacation places, didn't you?
I did, and I also got to take advantage of the state park system. I got a family membership, and we go try different activities there, the different paths, hiking trails, all different kinds of things. It's been a great idea.
And the other thing Tammy's gotten to do is that she and her family have done some filming for Walk Georgia too.
Yeah.
You and I have been to Athens, and then we've been to Atlanta, and we got to film up there. And your family enjoyed that, didn't they?
Yes, they did. It was an interesting day. I started in the Walk Georgia program, and no one in my family had taken part yet, and I was constantly talking about Walk Georgia, wearing my shirt, talking about Molly and the program, and this year they've all agreed to join, and my children did take part in the filming, even my adult children, so that was a lot of fun. And my husband recently joined a gym, so he's also getting fit. So it's I like to say it's like the ripple in the pond.
That's true.
We started with a little bit, and we're spreading out from there.
That's great. That was really good. And that's what we like to see with Walk Georgia. We love hearing the family stories and stories of how people have overcome. And one year we had someone who the doctor told them they had to exercise, and they got out and exercised so much they were really losing weight, and they became a much healthier person. And that's what Walk Georgia is all about. Another aspect of Walk Georgia with the groups, children in schools. Now, if they're 13 years and younger, they cannot sign on as an individual. They can sign on as groups. So what we're asking the schools, and I'm going around and talking to some of the schools now in Walton County and in Social Circle, they're public schools, and any private schools that want to talk to me, I am glad to talk to anyone. What they will do is, I am the county administrator. Then we have with other organizations or groups, they can have an administrator to oversee them. So what we'll be doing with the schools is we'll have someone that's assigned to work and be an administrator for their school. Then they can add on classes. Now what they will be doing is saying, okay, Mrs. Jones's class has 30 students in it, and today they jump roped for 15 minutes, and they jump roped 30 children jump roped for 15 minutes. And then if children want to come in and add more to that, the teachers can add that to it. But it's done as a group, and there's no names. And that is because of the laws of the internet and children's names under the age of 13. So when you do go on to the Walk Georgia page, it will ask you if you're 13 years or older. So please check that you are. You can do this as an individual. We will again be giving prizes for different things going on with Walk Georgia. We've had the Traveling School Trophy now for about 5 years. And we started out with Walker Park, and then Sharon Elementary just grabbed that thing and went with it. And they have won it every time. But we now have Sean Callahan, who has moved to Walnut Grove High School, so we're challenging Walnut Grove High School to beat Sharon Elementary this year. And we're hoping some more schools will come on board and try for that traveling trophy. With the county, they will have a department trophy that will travel all over the county government building and the county government areas. So if there's a company that would like to do this, I challenge you to call me, and we will work with your company or whatever, and maybe we can have a trophy for y'all. But we will have winners at the end. Right now, our target date is going to end on April the 30th. That way we can say who our school winners are going to be. We will, but you don't have to stop then. That's the good thing about the new Walk Georgia. It will continue. That's been one of the gripes with a lot of the people that did Walk Georgia, was they said, I don't want to end. 12 weeks isn't long enough. I want to keep going. So Walk Georgia will be set up to where it can go on continuously, and you can keep on adding those minutes and miles to it. And so that's going to be great that you can do that. We will have prizes at the end of this one. We'll do it again in the fall. The reason we're doing a set time is the University of Georgia does have to, they have to be able to do their research. And so that's why we do have some times available. But if your company wants to set up a time, we can set it up in Walton County for whatever we want to do. We can streamline it the way we want to. We can fix it just for us, and that's what we want to do in Walton County. So if you have any ideas of what you want to do with Walk Georgia, give me a call. I would love to see some of the larger businesses. I'm fixing to talk to Clearview Hospital next week. We've set up an appointment with them to talk to them. They're going to set up teams there with their different departments and challenge each other. And that's what it's all about. That within Walton County, we want to follow the motto of Walk Georgia. We want to move more and live more. and live up to the Walton County Challenge. So come on and join the Georgia Walton Challenge with Tammy and I, and we're going to challenge all of y'all to go ahead and get healthy with us, and we're going to try to be the healthiest county in Walton, in the state of Georgia and the United States, okay? So if you have any questions, give me a call, 770-267-1324 for the Walton County office, and I'll be glad to talk to you.
Where do you come alive? A stadium, lecture hall, a music hall, church potluck? This year, you have a new spot, walkgeorgia.org, a free website that provides you with all the resources needed to get your heart rate up and body out in your community. Sign up and receive individual or group fitness tracking, fitness demos by certified trainers, recipes, and a guide to resources in your Georgia County, all in one easy-to-use site. When you move more, you live more. walkgeorgia.org.
Good morning, I'm Keith Glass, City of Monroe Police Department, and I got Lieutenant Tracy Hanson with me today, and what we want to do is point out a problem that's not only citywide, but it's probably a nationwide, statewide, countywide problem, and that's just litter. And while this is not the most devastating crime that we deal with in the city of Monroe, as you can see from the video, it's a lot of trash, and we're standing right here at the East Spring Street exit coming off 78 Highway, and this litter was picked up about 10 or 12 days ago. And what I'm want to express to you is this is your community. If you see somebody littering, go ahead and call the 911, give them a tag number, and officers inside the city will respond to that. If you can't call 911 for some reason, if you can take down a tag number, Lieutenant Tracy Hanson's going to kind of be heading up something for me on this litter for a while, and I'd ask that you just email her the tag number. Her email is thanson@monroega.gov. That's thanson@monroega.gov. And again, it's your community, and as you can see, and he'll scan around and show you some more trash, but this trash was picked up with community service by community service workers about 12 days ago, and you can see how much is built up. So we really need your assistance, and we're looking at some ways also of places where we have a lot of this, maybe getting some video out there so we can catch them also on video. But we just need your help with that, and if you have any other problems with the crime or whatever in the city of Monroe that we can help you with, please contact us at the City of Monroe Police Department.
I just look forward to hearing from citizens here in the community, and we can work together and hopefully make Monroe not only a safer place, but more appealing to the eye. And just like Chief said, just email me with any problems. If you see anyone littering, or if you can get a tag number, and we can follow up with those people, just email me, thanson@monroega.gov.
And we thank you for your help.
You've known for years that this is the #1 cause of lung cancer, smoking. That's why the Surgeon General issued this warning. But do you know the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers? It's in this room. You can't see it or smell it. It's radon. Radon is an invisible radioactive gas that seeps inside your home from underground. It can build up to dangerous levels without notice. Now the Surgeon General has issued another lung cancer warning. And whether you smoke or not, breathing radon can cause lung cancer. That's why you need to have your home tested. Protect your family. Call 1-800-SOS-RADON. Heed the warning. Have your home tested, because radon problems can be fixed.
Creative artists can transfer your 8mm, Super 8mm, and 16mm films, as well as converting your VHS, CVHS, 8mm, and mini DV to DVD. Preserve your family's video history for the generations to come. Creative Artists, 1113 West Spring Street, Monroe, 770-267-7368.